What? Hey, you know why I'm playing this shit?
Why?
Huh?
Why?
There's Impi there by RapLfye. There's Impi there by RapLfye, dog. It's a fucking mess. It's a fucking mess.
Catastrophe, comrade.
And it seems like as the story grows, there's more people just being drawn in and in and in.
You know what's fucked up also about this? The main directors or the main owners or the people who are supposed to be the owners, there is one missing. KidX is not saying anything. I want to hear KidX's side of the story.
Okay, so let's do this. I've got something to say about KidX.
Yeah?
Let's do this. Let's start it off. Some people might have been away from the news, especially hip hop news, with all the shit that has been happening around. But the story of the week in terms of hip hop is this RapLfye situation. Debacle. All right. So I actually want to start from the beginning, or the beginning that we know. Mm-hmm. All right. We're going to start off from Bada Bing, because that's where Nota met Kwesta. All right. So they were working there. Nota was working there. Kwesta was an artist there. Nota gets fired. He said it through his own mouth. I think also Kwesta confirmed that he gets fired. And at some stage, Kwesta decides his career is not moving forward, so he's going to jump ship from Bada Bing. I think he didn't feel that they were doing enough for him to move his career forward. All right. So he jumps from Bada Bing. Okay. At that time, he's not doing very well. Nota goes and approaches him when he was chilling at home. Right? Because supposedly at some stage they were staying together, but since they left Bada Bing, they didn't have money. Everyone went their own way. So Kwesta goes back to Katlehong.
K1.
Nota goes and picks him up. Right? Picks him up and says, dude, he's too talented. We need to do this. All right. The first question in the story, which is puzzling, is when they started working, it seems like from both sides, all right, Unota was the only one with a company. So they decided Kwesta is gonna release through Nota's company, which was Urbentainment. All right, okay, cool. It goes, everything is going fine. They release Darker, they release Darker 2. And then, all of a sudden, there's this new company called RapLfye. RapLfye, at that time, we were told, is a joint venture between KidX and Kwesta. At that time, KidX had just come off a very bad situation where he was with KO on
Cash Time.
All right. So KidX now joins Kwesta to form RapLfye. That's what we were told. Everything goes. That's now, I think it's run about 2017 when RapLfye started. Everything goes, and then wheels fall off. That's the first time we understood that shit was happening was last year when Unota started talking shit. Talking shit. I built Kwesta. I did this for Kwesta. I did this. All right. No one is saying anything at that moment. It's just Nota talking. All right. And I remember saying to you, I hope at some stage Kwesta needs to say his part about what is happening. Because I don't think that somebody can just own your career like that and you don't say shit.
And you don't say shit, yeah.
Okay? So, fast forward to this year. Kwesta's got an album coming out. Kwesta now has to go on a media run. And of course, the questions are going to come out. What's happening with RapLfye? Right? Kwesta says on the McG podcast, he doesn't know who owns RapLfye. Big G asked him, what's happening with RapLfye? Who owns RapLfye? He says he doesn't know who owns RapLfye. Alright, people are like, okay, this is a funny situation.
Puzzling.
Lapo Unota is on the comments.
Yeah.
Because I watched the premiere of that episode. Nota is on the comments. He's saying Kwesta is lying. He knows what's up with the RapLfye. After that, Kwesta has got an album out, and of course, he needs to promote it. Again, he's doing interviews, right? At that time, Nota himself is going on a rampage, talking, doing my IG lives and all that shit. And then Makwe gets involved. Makwe, an old interview of Makwe's, which was done last year,
surfaces
with Umaraza, where he says he did hit songs and he wasn't paid for it. Okay, cool. Like, people are like, what? This guy was involved with this song. This guy was involved with that song. What the fuck? And Maraza says he's broke. People are like, you can't be broke, nigga.
You gave us this and this and this and this and this.
Okay. The story goes, all of a sudden, people want to know what is exactly is happening. Right? That's where we are. That's what people are aware of. So now I did a lot of read up over the past 2 days. I actually even said to you that we're going to step away from the story because it was just getting irritating. But it seems like it grew legs over the past 2 days because Kwesta then went on a thread yesterday. Nota went on a thread yesterday. Makwe went on to the Sobering podcast. And Makwe and Nota had a altercation on IG Live. All right. Okay, it's a mess. You start, dog. You start. I've got a lot of questions. And the first question is, Nota is right when he says Kwesta and KidX lied.
Okay.
KidX hasn't said anything so far.
Yeah.
But Nota is right when he says
they lied.
Kwesta lied. Because I actually listened to an interview that they did in 2017.
Slick on Live.
No. Yeah. They were on East Coast Radio.
Okay.
At that time, Fat Joe was there. I'm sure you can find it. Just Google Kwesta, Fat Joe, East Coast Radio interview. He was there with KidX. And one of Joe's, I can't remember Joe's co-host, asked them directly, what's the situation with RapLfye? They said, me and Kwesta own RapLfye.
This is KidX
answering. Yeah. Me and Kwesta own RapLfye, and we've signed 3 acts, which was TLT, Makwe, and who's the third one?
Tabsi.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But anyway, I remember those two. So TLT and Makwe were under RapLfye. Right. So they lied because they didn't own it. RapLfye actually started in 2011. The company was registered in 2011.
By Leroy.
Yes. The sole director. In 2011, in 2017, they say they own the company. Now, I understand that there's 2 levels of ownership, right? There's the ownership, which is a directorship, which is what Leroy Khoza is. Then there's shareholding that you can have in a company. But it seems like these guys didn't have shareholding. So that's the first lie. Now, what I want to understand is, why the fuck was RapLfye brought on board if there was already Urbantainment? Because RapLfye started after Ingwood. So Urbantainment had done Dhaka and Dhaka 2. What was the need of bringing on RapLfye? Especially a company they don't own.
So you're saying they fucked up when they brought in RapLfye?
I'm not saying that. I'm asking, what was the need?
There was no need. Because everything was going on smoothly. There was no need. So I think Leroy, because Leroy, from the threads that I read, Leroy was taking good care of Questa, right? So Leroy, I think, was sweet talking Questa. Yo, we need share. We need to own this and this and this and this. So far, this nigga owns this, right? So it was a matter of split shits. How we going to split everything, the funds and stuff. If you've read the authorities' tweets about the split
Stop calling
shit.
him the authority. Nota. Stop
Nota.
calling him. Yeah,
Nota.
Nota. We're talking about Nota.
Nota's thing. He said there was a point where niggas came and they were starting to ask questions about their salaries and split shits. And Questa referred them to Leroy. That's when Leroy came back and paid everyone. Right? So now it was out of Nota's hands. It was in Leroy's hands. So maybe...
Okay. I think you get a little bit thing mixed up.
Okay.
Nota had said he was being paid.
Yeah. He was.
Nota has also said that he doesn't own Entertainment. His mom owns Entertainment.
Ish. This is a debacle. This is...
So let's not get into Nota because we're going to come for him.
Yeah.
But let me start here. I want to understand why the fuck was RapLfye brought in?
I don't get why it was.
Because Questa has never released even one song under RapLfye.
Under RapLfye, yeah.
KidX has never released anything under RapLfye. So this guy started a company, right? And released KidX releases under his own name, his own company.
Okay.
Right? Questa is always released under Entertainment. But now it seems that Questa, now this is the part where Nota comes in.
Yeah.
Questa and Nota didn't have an agreement. It was, I've got a company, you can release.
Under.
Nota then goes to Sony for distribution.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. But now the question then arises there. What was Questa's understanding of what was happening at that time when they started? What was the understanding? Because he seems to come back and say the issue started when he wanted to change the ownership of the company.
Yeah.
Right? But now the question is, because Unota says Questa just had what he's going to release through, not what he's going to own.
Yeah.
He's going to release through. And now that makes sense, where Nota's understanding is that, I'm just a vehicle for you to be able to do the music.
Yeah.
On this side, you are just doing the music. Understand? On this side, Questa seems to understand that we're starting this, but we want to formalize it at the later stage. And then when the later stage came through, that's when the boom.
Boom. Yeah. So this is a mess.
Because now the question is why are the masters
Still at Entertainment?
Yes.
That's your main question.
No, there's a lot of questions. There's no main question here. There's a lot of questions.
Because I was about to ask you.
If Unota is being honest, he doesn't own that shit.
Yeah. Because there was no contract.
So why is he owning it?
Because they were released through his company. His mom's company.
But that's not a discussion of ownership. That's a discussion of
vehicle.
You are a vehicle for us to distribute, right? To help us distribute. That the ownership question is, why is Nota left with the masters?
I don't get it, eh? I honestly don't get it.
I think on that part,
yeah,
Nota is being a crook.
Okay. So he wants to keep the
Yes.
two albums, Dakar 1 and 2.
He is keeping them. Not he wants to, he's keeping them. He even says it's a family business. That's what he said.
But but he's also said it on McG's podcast that he owns masters.
Yeah.
Who's masters besides Questa?
Exactly. Yeah. So now the next question is, why didn't KidX release under RapLfye?
KidX didn't want to share the profits of his recordings or his IPs with those niggas. He owned RapLife, right? But he didn't want to share his IPs with the niggas. So he had another side recording.
I think KidX understood from the
get-go.
From the get-go that this is not ours.
Smart.
Because even when I'm going back to that interview that I saw, when he was being interviewed with Ufecho, he had already anticipating, I think they were on a media run for his first single from the first album, right? And I just want to get the album here before I forget. But they were on a media run for that.
Yeah.
So, and that first album, was never released under
RapLife, yeah.
But if you listen to the interview, it sort of intimates that it's going to be released under RapLife. So now, that album came out in 2018, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And it's not under RapLife.
Under his own.
So I'm saying he knew, because of the shit that he went through with KO.
With KO, yeah.
That, no. I'm not
go
going to do this.
Yeah.
And since the paperwork wasn't done correctly, I'm not going to put my shit there. But now it's fucked up of him to put Abo Makwe and TLT there. When you can't put your own work there, and it's your company, but you put other people's work there.
Eish, bruh. Double standards.
It's being devious. It's being
hypocritical.
You're a crook as well. Yeah. So the first crook is Nota. The second crook is KidX. As much as he hasn't said anything, I don't think he can say much because
he didn't lose much.
Exactly. And also, he's the one that brought Abo TLT. Ukwesta and KidX brought Abo TLT and Abo Makwe into this shit.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Now we go to, because we're still dealing with this guy, we go to Umakwe. Makwe is busy rasping and fucking complaining or he doesn't get paid. I think Umakwe chowed his money.
Makwe chowed his money.
But some of it was also chowed.
Yep.
By the other gents.
Yeah.
Understand? The issue with Umakwe, it seems like he didn't take time to learn what is happening. It seems like he spent a lot of his time making music and doing drugs. Like, no, on a serious, he's admitted that when he was on the Sobering podcast, that he was doing a lot of recreational shit.
Yeah.
Understand? So, he can't complain because he doesn't know what to complain with. There's a story where last year, Unota took Umakwe to Ambitious.
Yeah.
He says at the Sobering podcast that Unota arranged a advance. Yeah. He advanced from Ambitious. They paid him 20,000 times 3. So that's 60,000. 20,000 for 3 months. Right? He says it's an advance. It was not an advance. They were just giving him the money. And they were offering him a job just like Utwizi, as an A&R as well as a producer. He turned down the job, took the money, chowed the money. Now, from that story, you can see this guy doesn't know which money fits in where.
Like, he just saw money coming in.
No. He knew the money was coming in. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, how can you call it an advance with no responsibility?
Exactly.
It can't be an advance. An advance means I'll give you this in anticipation that you're going to do something for me at a later stage. So I'm paying you before the job. That's an advance.
Yeah, that's an advance.
Right? He calls that an advance. Ambitious comes back and says, that was not an advance. We just gave you the money because Nota asked us to assist you because you're in a bad space. And we offered you a job, you didn't want to take it. Cool, you don't have to take the job because we're just giving you the money.
So they were enticing him to come.
Well, I think maybe from the Ambitious side. Yeah. But they didn't expect anything from him. There was no contract where he needs to bring back the money or work for the money. Right? Through Nota putting in a good word to say, please assist this guy, they assisted him. But what illustrates is that he doesn't understand what the money is about that he keeps on getting or doesn't get. How can you say after a year, after you charge 60,000, you say it's in advance when it was not in advance?
What did he do for it? Nothing. So
Exactly.
it was not in advance.
Exactly. But I'm going further into this. Think about what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It seems like he doesn't understand his business.
Clearly.
It seems like he doesn't understand the money that is due to him, the money that he owes, and the money that, he doesn't understand that. So it becomes hard to assist somebody like that where they also don't know the monies.
But did you see, I think it was also on the podcast, he only asked Leroy for the paperwork now through the whole debacle.
Yes.
So, like you're saying, how do you assist someone like that?
He doesn't have the information.
He doesn't have the information.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So, yes, I'm sorry that he got fucked over, but it seems like he can't even explain how he got fucked over. Mm-hmm. You understand? Questa, in some respects, I've said it before when we started this chat, I agree with Nota. He's lying a lot of times. Mm. It seems like Leroy was doing a lot of things on behalf of what Questa was saying must be done. Mm.
Yeah.
Yes, Questa was not pressing the button of sending money, but the money that Questa wanted,
Questa got.
How can he say he doesn't know who owns RapLfye?
He knows, bro. He knows. How can you tell someone to transfer $1 million for your wedding if you don't own the company? Because apparently his wedding was paid for through the company.
Yeah. Well, he came back with the threads and said, no, that money is money that he wasn't withdrawing from the company and keeping it there. Even that, it does not take away from the fact that you knew what the fuck was going on.
Exactly. You knew you had money in there.
Exactly. So you knew there was money in there. So why are you saying you don't know what the fuck was going on?
So he's lying.
He is fucking lying.
Fuck.
The funny thing about this situation is that we can't really talk about Leroy because he hasn't said shit. Mm-hmm. Right? He's working with the Big Zulu now. Okay? And Nota tried to have a comment around that. I think these guys started something without really describing what each person is going to do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So it was something that was started through brotherly love and trust.
Yeah. And coming back to a point I think we made last week where I said the time they started RapLfye, Ingood had already dropped. I think it had dropped a year or a year and a half before then. But Questa, probably one of the biggest artists at that time, didn't have management. Okay, forget management. He didn't have a manager.
Nota was doing everything.
But now the thing is, what was Nota doing?
Nota was managing him, but they didn't sign anyway. If you're handling my bookings, booking my flights, like my logistics, you are a manager.
Because I remember Nota actually mentioned at start where they wanted to promote the album, Itakatu. They went on a 9-city tour on the bus. Yeah. He arranged that. Yeah. So he was a manager.
He was a manager.
Just didn't have the title of management.
Yeah, even when they fell off, Questa tweeted, I still remember vividly his tweet, XA, I'm not working with Nota anymore. If you want to book me or anything, he left the contact details. And he was like, if you want to contact Nota, contact him through his own media platforms.
Yeah.
So how do you release something of this stature if someone was not your manager?
Because it seems like everyone knew
that if you want to
get you,
exactly,
they need to talk to this guy.
Exactly. The middleman. So Nota was the middleman. And what's the middleman in music or in entertainment. Middleman is the manager.
I think we're coming to a close. I think for the guys that are watching and coming into the industry, first things first, the people that you work with and the people that you're eating the money with are not your managers.
No.
You need a manager who's going to look after your interests.
Do you know?
Secondly, yeah,
sorry.
Yeah.
Do you know who RapLfye is?
You can tell me. You must stop doing that. You must just talk.
RapLfye is, I don't know if he still manages Kuli. I've never, for the past 12 to 15 years, I've never heard Kuli complain about RapLfye. They've been together for the longest time. Now that's a manager.
You see, even that manager that does Casper, what's his name?
I forgot him also.
Yeah, they seem to have a good relationship, but he doesn't get involved in the making of Casper's music. He doesn't get involved in all the other things. He just looks after the interest of. He's not part of a recording company. He just looks after this guy's interests. Understand?
Exactly.
And that's what you need. These guys lied to each other. These guys robbed each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's why even Questa, without having his own masters, is not jumping up and down, because he knows that part of the situation is his own fuck ups.
Yep.
Understand? Nota is a crook. No, seriously, Nota is a crook because his story keeps on changing.
Yep.
Understand? His story keeps on changing, and it seems like he knew the business and where the money lied. That's why he said, release through me.
Yeah. Don't worry, I'm going to do the up and down. I'm going to go to Sony. I'm going to go
KidX robbed the other guys. Mm-hmm. His involvement in this story is that, why do you start a company, sign other guys, and then you don't put in your shit there? Understand? So, yeah, man, it's a mess. But I think for the people that were not up to date, I hope that we've enlightened you a bit. But this is a fucking mess. And it's sad because we need companies like black companies, young guys doing their shit. But these guys,
yeah.
And Umakwa, on a serious, I know we say it's in a joke, but he seems to be acknowledging that he didn't have the information. He's trying to. That's what he kept on saying on the sobering, where he says he's trying to get the information. But goddamn, man, he also needs a manager.
Help. He needs help.
He needs personal help, but in the business side, he needs a manager.
He needs.
You understand? So that's a sad life, man. With this.
Sad life from RapLfye.
Yeah, sad life, But I would want to know what Leroy has to say about this.
Yeah.
Because I absolutely don't understand why he came on board. Why couldn't they expand the entertainment and make it a fully functional company?
Yeah.
Understand? Why did they have to bring in the RapLfye and sign other guys under that? Understand? And now you've got two companies, different roles, split roles. It's just a fucking mess.
Yeah.
This side, Questa is still releasing under Urbantainment, but he owns RapLfye. It's a fucking mess. It's a fucking mess. But hopefully it's a developing story. But I think the person that has got a lot to say about this to make the whole puzzle is that Leroy guy.
Yeah. Leroy must just come through.
A Leroy guy. And I think in terms of what he's doing for, which we don't know, for Big Zulu, he seems to know how to manage.
Mm-hmm. He's good at his job.
Yeah. But now, was he managing those guys?
That's another story. That's a question.
Because it seems like with Big Zulu hasn't involved him in Inkabe Records.
Yeah.
He's just coming with the management side of things. Understand? But in RapLfye, he was part of
ownership
and also managing. It's a mess. It's a fucking mess.